So there are two main types of cells. We have prokaryotes and eukaryotes, okay? And with prokaryotes, there's bacteria and archaea. Okay? Eukaryotes, there's protists, like an amoeba, fungi, like mushrooms, plants, like trees, flowers, those kind of things, and animals like us, animal cells, cows, humans, gorillas. Okay? So we're going to be talking about what these two types of cells, prokaryotes and eukaryotes, what they have in common. One thing they have in common is a plasma membrane. That is the membrane around the cell, also known as the cell membrane. Okay? As we talked about before, what does the plasma membrane do? It regulates what comes in and what comes out. Exactly. The cytoplasm. What is the cytoplasm? It's that liquidy stuff that is in between the organelles. Also, we have DNA. What is DNA? It's the genetic material. Where do we find the DNA? What organelle? The nucleus, exactly. And the ribosomes. There's free ribosomes and ribosomes on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. What do ribosomes make? Lipids or proteins? Do you guys remember? Proteins, yeah, exactly. So with the plasma membrane, that's this stuff in the purple, okay, that's what they have. One of the things that prokaryotes and eukaryotes have in common. Another thing I said were the ribosomes. What do the ribosomes do? They make proteins. You told me that. Where do we find the ribosomes? In the cytoplasm, which is this liquid environment. That is something that both prokaryotes and eukaryotes have in common. And also we have ribosomes on the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which also make proteins. Okay. What are the differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes? Remember, prokaryotes are thinking like the stuff on the floor, stuff on like molded cheese. What is that? Bacteria, right? And archaea. So with prokaryotes, one thing to note is that they're smaller. Like a bacteria is smaller than a human being, you would agree, right? Yeah. And also they have no membrane-bound organelles. No membrane-bound organelles. What does that mean? Do bacteria have a nucleus? Yes or no? If they do not have membrane-bound organelles? No. No, they don't. Do they have mitochondria? Yeah. No, they don't. Okay, so now we're going to talk about eukaryotic cells, which are opposite of prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells, those are like human beings, animal cells, also what kind of things? Mushrooms, which are fungi, and also, one more? Plants. And plants, exactly, which go through photosynthesis. Since they're opposite, eukaryotes are larger, which means they're more complex, right? Would you say you're more complex than a bacteria? That's on the floor? Yeah, probably. I hope so. And you also have membrane-bound organelles, which is characteristic of eukaryotes, such as what has the DNA? The nucleus and the mitochondria, the peroxisome and lysosome. Okay, that we'll talk about later. Perfect. Now, the difference between animal cells and plant cells. Well, plant cells have chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are important for photosynthesis, right? When the plant uses energy from the sun to make its own energy. Also, plants have a cell wall, which we'll talk about later, which is important for cell division. Okay? Animals, if you could remember plants, they just don't have the chloroplasts and they don't have the cell wall.